economist Hugh Dalton propounded the principle of maximum social advantage. The principle of maximum social advantage is the fundamental principle of public finance, which states that public finance leads to economic welfare when public expenditure and taxation are carried out to that point where the benefits derived from the marginal utility of expenditure is equal to the marginal disutility or sacrifice imposed by taxation. Hugh Dalton explains this principle with reference to marginal social sacrifice and marginal social benefits. Now, marginal social sacrifice refers to that amount of social sacrifice undergone by the public due to the imposition of an additional unit of tax. And marginal social benefit, while the imposition of a tax puts burden on the people, public expenditure confers benefits. So the benefit conferred on the society or an individual by an additional unit of public expenditure is known as marginal social benefits. Now, this principle is based on the following assumptions. All tax results in sacrifice and all public expenditure leads to benefits. Public revenue consists of only taxes, that is, the government has no other sources of income. The government has no surplus budget or deficit budget, but only balanced budget. Public expenditure is subject to diminishing marginal social benefit, and taxes are subject to increasing marginal social sacrifice. Now, let's know in detail about marginal social sacrifice. Now, every unit of tax imposed by the government results in the loss of utility. So Dalton says that whenever additional burden resulting from the additional units of taxation goes on increasing, that is, the total sacrifice of the society increases at an increasing rate when the government imposes an additional unit of taxation. See, when taxes are imposed, the stock of money with the community diminishes. And when the stock of money diminishes, definitely the marginal utility of money goes on increasing. So eventually, every additional unit of taxation creates greater amount of impact and greater amount of sacrifice on the society. That is why the marginal social sacrifice goes on increasing, which we can see in the figure. When the unit of taxation is OM1, the marginal social sacrifice is just OS1. And when the unit of taxation, when the government imposes an additional unit of taxation to the unit of OM3, the sacrifice of the society increases to OS3. That is why you see the MSS curve, that is marginal social sacrifice curve, is an upward sloping curve from left to right. Now we go to marginal social benefit. Just as we know, the marginal utility from a commodity to a consumer declines as more and more units of the commodity are made available to him. The social benefit also from each additional unit of public expenditure declines as more and more units of public expenditure are spent. In the beginning, the units of public expenditure that the government spends are on essential social activities, but subsequent doses of public expenditure are spent on less and less important social activities, and as a result, the curve of marginal social benefit slopes downwards from left to right. So this is shown in the figure. When the units of public expenditure are just OM1, the social benefit that the society gets is OB1, and when the units of expenditure is increased to OM3, this marginal social benefit decreases to OB3, and that is why the marginal social benefit curve is a downward sloping curve. Now we want to know where is the point of maximum social advantage. Now the point of maximum social advantage in the figure we see is P, where the marginal social sacrifice MSS curve cuts the marginal social benefit curve. Now this is the point of maximum social advantage. Why? Because at this point we see the MSS curve cuts the MSB curve. Beyond this point, the marginal disutility or social sacrifice will be higher and the marginal utility or social benefit will be lower. Now at point P, we see social advantage is maximum. Now consider point P1. At this point, the marginal social benefit is P1Q1, this is greater than the marginal social sacrifice. Since the sacrifice is lower and the benefit is higher, it makes more sense to increase the level of taxation and public expenditure. And this is due to this reason, the additional unit of revenue raised and spent by the government leads to increase in net social advantage. So the situation of increasing taxation and public expenditure continues to the level of point P. Let us take after point P. At point P2, the marginal social sacrifice is greater than the marginal social benefit. Therefore, beyond point P, any increase in the level of taxation and public expenditure may bring down the social advantage. This is because every unit of additional taxation will increase the disutility or sacrifice, whereas the marginal utility or social benefit will be reduced. This shows that maximum social advantage is attained at the point B, and this is the point where marginal social benefit or from public expenditure is equal to marginal social sacrifice. Now, what is the way to lead or to achieve to maximum social advantage? Taxes should be distributed by the government in such a way that the marginal utility of money sacrificed by all the taxpayers is the same. Second, public spending is done such that the benefits derived from the last unit of money spent on each items must be equal. And the last one is marginal benefits and sacrifices must be equated. So this principle tells that all fiscal operations, both as regards to revenue and expenditure, should be treated as a series of transfer of purchasing power that must ultimately increase the economic welfare of the people. In this context, Dalton says the principle of maximum social advantage and asserted that financial operations of the government must be in accordance with this principle so that it can increase economic welfare and the welfare of the state. Thank you.